first virtual meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 4:05 p.m. on June 29th. Welcome everyone. I'm going to be running the meeting today because Juan Crespi was not available to join the meeting today. So I'd first of all like to start by, again, introducing myself. I'm Alex David, and I don't know how we're going to do this, but I'd like everyone to just call out their name if possible.
Debbie Swain.
Richard Strime.
Arnaud Hyacinth.
Gavin Sitkoff.
Jackie Gennard.
Okay.
Sergio
So,
Gonzalez. Sergio Gonzalez.
Hi, Sergio. Okay, with besides Sergio, the board members, we do have a quorum. We have 6 members present, if my count is correct. Is that correct, Oscar?
Yes, you're correct.
Okay, perfect.
You need 5, you have 6.
Yep, okay, great, thank you. First of all, I think we need to put up our rules of engagement, Ivan. Perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to read into the record our rules of engagement for virtual meetings, and then we'll go on to the agenda. First of all, this is a public meeting which is being recorded. If you experience technical difficulties, please contact Ivan Jimenez at 786-973-9546. Sorry about that, 9546. Oh, and Mr. Pina has just arrived. Hi, Steve.
Hi. Sorry, I was having trouble getting my camera.
No problem. So now we have
everything so far, so go.
Good, okay. Anyway, so Ivan's number again is 786-973-9546 if there are any problems you have, or you could email him at ijimenez, IJIMENEZ @gfnet.com. So any the member of their technical support team could help. For those who are listening in and part of as public, please remain muted throughout the duration of the meeting except for the public comment period. If you wish to provide a comment, please use the raise hand button, which is in the lower part of your screen. At the bottom of your Zoom panel, I should say, so the meeting organizer can unmute your microphone. If you are calling in, the organizer will automatically unmute your microphone when the public comment period begins. Please proceed by first providing your full name and home address, followed by your comment. For the committee members, if you wish to provide a comment, please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your Zoom panel. Wait to be recognized by the chair. Once recognized by the chair, please provide your name and question or comment. Committee members are also encouraged to enable their web cameras and mute their microphones when not speaking. To move or amend a motion, unmute your microphone, clearly state your name for the record, and propose or second the motion. The TARC coordinator will record the action and verbally confirm your name. Open votes such as approval of agenda will be conducted by calling dissenting votes only. Committee members in opposition shall state their name and say nay. Resolutions or other important votes will be conducted via roll call. And with that, I'd like to have someone make a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve, Gavin.
Gavin, okay, Gavin made the motion to approve and Steve seconded. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to item 1B, approval of minutes. We haven't met since November, so now we're going on about what, 8 months with no meeting. So that's why we thought it was important to have the meeting today. Could I get a motion to approve the November 6, 2019 minutes? Mr. Pina, a second?
Second, Gavin.
Thank you, Gavin. All right. We're going to discuss the election of TARC officers. First action item. So with that, I need to turn this over to Oscar for a further discussion.
Well, good afternoon to everyone. Our first item is an action item. It's the election of TARC officers. We'll begin by the selection or the election of a nomination for a chairperson. Does anyone that's present that is a TARC member wish to nominate a chairperson?
Can I ask, are there, any requirements? Can we redo Juan? Is he interested?
Juan is already been already for 2 consecutive terms for 2 years, and that is the limit by the bylaws. So it has to be someone different or outside of Juan Crespi.
How about our vice chair? Is he interested?
Yeah, I'd like to make a recommendation for him too, please. So I would recommend that,
Alex.
yeah. Alex?
Me too.
Okay, so Steve Pina, you nominate Alex David.
Correct.
Do we get a second?
I second it.
Anybody second? Jackie seconds it? Okay. All those in favor? Or, I'm sorry, are there any other nominations for chair? Well, none being said out loud. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
For myself or no?
Aye.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I look forward to serving as chair for the next several years.
Thank you. And now let's proceed with the nomination for the vice chair. Any nominations for the vice chair?
I nominate Anab. I am not sure if he's available.
Yeah, I won't be able to commit to it 100%, unfortunately.
No. I'd like to nominate Debbie if she's interested.
I
Okay.
second that.
Okay, so Alex makes the motion to nominate Debbie Swain, and Jackie Gennard seconds that motion.
Right.
Any other nominations for vice chair? None being heard. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Great. Thank you.
None opposed? All right, perfect, good, thank you. And I'll turn the meeting, now we have a chair officially, Mr. Alex David, and vice chair, Ms. Debbie Swain. I thank you guys for your
Thank you, everyone.
volunteerism and hard work.
Thank you.
Now I turn the meeting back over to Alex David for the next item.
Uh-oh. Do we have another member present? Or?
Light up my house too.
Okay, so, okay, I see, Sunless, you just joined us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. How's everything? Good?
Yes, sir. All is well, and yourself?
Great, thank you. Okay, welcome to the meeting. Okay, so the next item will be item under action items 2B, which is our revisiting of the Golden Glades Multimodal Transportation facility that is under construction. Happily to announce that it's under construction and making, I think, very good progress. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to, is it Ivan or then you're gonna hook in Sergio or?
Yes, good afternoon. This is Sergio. Ivan is gonna
There we go.
control the presentation for me, and I'm gonna go ahead and present. I am the senior project engineer for the Department of Transportation, and I'm in charge of the overall construction of this project. We're gonna present today an update of where we are and show you some of the renderings that we showed you the first time we met back at the end of 2018 and what the building looks like now. Very, very similar to what we showed you. So with that, Ivan, if we can go to the next slide. So the project team is made up of Jackie Sequeira. She's my FDOT construction project manager. I just introduced myself. Sandra Bayo is the community outreach specialist. She's the one that prepared the short video we're going to see in a little bit. And lead is the design build team, which is they're led by lead engineering contractors, and their design arm is AMP Consulting Transportation. Next slide. So this is the project update video that's going to update you a little bit of where we are. Ivan, the sound isn't coming through.
Near the Golden Glades interchange.
Can we start it
Construction
over?
began
Yes, sorry.
on December 17th. The Florida Department of Transportation continues construction at the Golden Glades Multimodal Transportation Facility in Miami-Dade County. A new and modern integrated multimodal transportation facility is being built to upgrade the existing site. The project is located inside of the west lot of the park and ride near the Golden Glades interchange. Construction began December 17, 2018, and is estimated to be completed by summer of 2021. The estimated cost of this project is $60 million. The facility consists of a number of improvements, including building a multi-story parking garage, new transit hub, bus driver's break lounge, bus terminal, and covered walkways. Bus service has been temporarily relocated to the east lot while the contractor performs parking garage and utility work in the west lot. The contractor continues to work on performing concrete work for sidewalks, curb and gutter, the parking garage, as well as installing ITS, sanitary sewer, and drainage. This project will improve the connectivity between transportation modes, as well as increase transfer efficiency, accessibility, safety, security, and capacity. For more information, please contact Community Outreach Specialist Sandra Bayo.
Thank you. Next slide, please. So with that video, Sandra pretty much stole all my thunder, but I'm going to go ahead and go through with this with some more detail, and I'm open to any questions. Feel free to interrupt me and ask me questions as I go. Back in the end of 2018, these were the renderings that we presented. Next slide. This is actually, hang on, go back, sorry. This is a view from the bus loop that shows in the background there the transit hub and the actual parking garage structure with the elevator towers and the 6-story parking garage. The pedestrian bridge is over on the right side. Next slide. This is another view of the same parking garage, and it also shows some of the pedestrian canopies that we're adding to the facility. One of the interesting things about this project is prior to this improvement, we didn't have any canopy coverage, only what was on the actual bus loop. The new improvements provide 87,000 square feet of canopy coverage for the facility. Next slide. This is a view from the of the parking garage with the elevator towers showing the glazing. Next slide. In the front, you'll see the driver's break lounge. This is a new facility that's being added as an amenity for the drivers of the transit service. Previously, this was two porta potties that were on the side of the street or the side of the parking. So this is a big improvement. Next slide. This is a view of the space frame structure that covers the intercity bus hub. This is where the Greyhound used to work out of. They used to work from a parking trailer that was in the middle of a parking lot. Now, whichever vendor the county decides to use will be servicing out of this intercity bus hub. Next slide. This is a view from the bus loop, showing some of the landscaping that we'll have on this project. Next slide. And this is a view of the north canopy. Provides a lot of coverage for all of the patrons. Next slide. Another view of the space frame with the intercity buses. Next slide. And this is a view of the pedestrian bridge currently under construction. That's a schematic view. This movement didn't exist prior to our project. It connects the second floor of the parking garage directly with the tri-rail platform. So there's a direct connection there. Next slide. The parking garage also features wayfinding and parking guidance. The wayfinding and signing is part of our contract. The parking guidance is a technology package that is going to be conducted by the county once we're done. Next slide. These are some of the wayfinding features and some of the icons that are going to be used that match the same branding that's at other facilities throughout the county. Next slide. Similar signage will be throughout the facility. Next slide. And the facility also includes two monument signs, two pylons, a 50-footer on State Road 9 and a 100-footer on State Road 7, similar to the one shown on the screen. Next slide. Next slide. The landscaping. This is a floor plan or a site plan of the landscaping, different communities that we have throughout. Landscaping hasn't started yet on the project, but it's a very robust landscaping endeavor. Our landscaping architect is Ken Gardner, and the vendor of the materials is going to be Arasosa Brothers. Next slide. These are some of the features of the different types of landscaping that are going to be incorporated in the overall final plan. Next slide. Lighting is a big improvement that we're adding to the job. There's LED throughout the facility and lighting improvements in all areas, pedestrians, where pedestrians and patrons are going to be walking. Next slide. So where are we in construction? Phase 1, she covered in the video pretty much. We built the parking garage structure and we relocated the existing bus service. We also provided the connection for water and sewer from the local utility companies that are going to serve this facility. We also installed a new noise wall along the connector road. Next slide. So in phase 2, where we are right now, is we're continuing to finish up the parking garage with the MEPs and the finishes. The elevators are being installed at the moment. The other two buildings, the intercity bus hub and the driver's break lounge, are also under construction right now. The pedestrian bridge is also underway with the substructure has been poured and we're going up with columns now. And we're rebuilding the signalized intersection along State Road 7. at our current pace, we're poised to finish this job in the spring of 2021 ahead of schedule. Next slide. So here are some of the pictures of the current construction. That is almost exactly like one of the renderings that we showed before. The parking garage, and you can see there in the attached to the parking garage, the canopy starting to be installed. Next slide, please. Here's an aerial view that shows the lighting features already installed on the roof or on the top floor of the parking garage. Towards the front of the parking garage, you can see the canopy. Next slide. And in this view is from State Road 7. In the bottom of the photo, you can see the concrete pavement, which is the beginning of the new intersection of State Road 7. Next slide. Here is the same area from a different angle. This past week, we just shifted traffic over to the new location of the signal. It's still in a temporary configuration, but they've already moved into the new area. This allows the contractor to build the other half of the concrete pavement. Next slide. And here's a view from State Road 9. Along State Road 9, the traffic entering the facility has shifted from the connector road over towards more of the middle of the facility to open up the work zone right there on the bottom of the photo to complete all the reconstruction of the roadway and that parking area, as well as the concrete pavement adjacent to the facility. Next slide. And here's a view of the parking garage, and towards the bottom of the screen, you can see the noise wall that was constructed as part of the harmonization with the neighbors to attenuate the sound. Next slide. And here's another view. This is from the tri-rail side. So here you can see the pedestrian bridge on the bottom. That's pretty much where our pedestrian bridge is going to connect to, right along that landing. We're still under construction of the pedestrian bridge. Next slide. And this is from the south of the parking structure. Next slide. This is about a week and a half old, this picture, and it's the inner city bus hub that's going up. We're set to do the tie beam and the rafters pretty soon here, so it looks a lot different. If you drive by there, take a look. You can actually, since it's an active site, you can drive through the whole construction area and see all the construction around you and how quickly we're moving. Next slide. So phase 3 is the next phase that's going to come, is the wrapping up of all the surface lots and the connection of the water and sewer service to the actual structure, to the actual building, and the rest of the facility. Here during this phase, we'll place all the final asphalt. Next slide. And then in phase 4, we'll come in and switch bus traffic back over to the permanent configuration, do all the testing of the ITS components, and basically wrap the job up. Next slide. So there's the contact information. We had it before, and it'll be part of the meeting minutes, but I wanted to share some of the information of the project with you by the numbers. So the total number of surface spaces that we're providing in the final configuration is 285. The total number of garage spaces is 2,159 for a total of 2,444 spaces. There are 12 electric vehicle spaces. They're going to be serviced with EV chargers, and there are 14 bus bays in the new configuration. So if that's pretty much, oh, we're 75% complete, and so far we've paid to date $48 million. I don't know if anybody has any questions. I have my team on text with me so they can answer any questions I can't.
I'll start, and then anyone else on the board could just jump in. So basically, I think, what are the differences between what we saw in 2018 and now? I mean, it doesn't seem like you've changed much in design or landscaping or anything else from what I could see. Is that a correct?
That's correct. Yeah, we showed you what we were going to build, and we're building it.
Okay, great. Any other board members have questions?
Yeah, I do. I'd like to know, when you put in the bus over to, can you hear me? I still see a green light.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
I
can
hear
hear
you. I hear you.
Okay. The connection to the tri-rail, will the signage and lighting go all the way through, or just right up to the connection, and then everything past that will be old?
I didn't hear the last part of your question, but the wayfinding and the signing and lighting goes all the way up to the tri-rail landing where their elevator is right now. Anything inside the actual tri-rail there from that point on is what's existing.
You know, it seems to me you guys are missing it here, because this whole project was about pulling this all together. And yeah, you're building a really nice hub, but you didn't, and the connection is made, and you're showing us how it's all interactive, but we stopped right there and we didn't really connect tri-rail. And I don't think, if tri-rail doesn't connect here, that's a big part of this working. So I would hope you would relook at that.
Forgive me, I don't follow your question. The tri-rail does have a stop there, and we're connecting to the platform at where the elevator is. Are you talking about having a connection that bypasses the elevator and goes straight into the tri-rail pad that's in the middle of the railroad?
No, I don't have a problem with how the layout is. Everything comes into the parking garage. You take an elevator down or whatever, take the stairs, that's fine. It's the fact that $60 million project, and we finish, and like this 20% over here is still not been updated. And this started out not at 60 million, it started out, I think the last time you were in front of us, it was not a $60 million budget, was it? That has changed, if I remember.
It was
correctly.
it was 56 million. 4 million was added to add another floor to the parking garage.
Mm-hmm.
Because the bid came in at 56 for the 5 stories.
Uh-huh.
And just to be clear, we are connecting to tri-rail.
My understanding is you're connecting to tri-rail, and you're doing, all this upgrade and everything to the site. But as soon as you step on the tri-rail site and walk across, what is that, State Road 9, nothing in there has been upgraded. And so we then look for another project to then meet the signage, everything equal the same, lighting, or is it still, a relic from when it was built? How many years ago was the train station? Personally, I've never walked it. I don't know what it looks like. I will do that just so that the next time I speak with more.
I can get more information on that. I know that there are some projects that are in and around that area with that station from the other side, from the industrial side.
Right, there was supposed to be a connection there too. And so wouldn't you agree that all the signage and everything should look the same?
Well, yeah, everything should point in the right direction. Yeah.
All right, well, that's one of my problems. And then the other thing was, we had discussed the entrance lighting, and you've shown a new entrance, but we still haven't seen anything. And the hope was that, when you pull into this it speaks to the grandeur of what you just built, which I think we're all here excited about what you've done here. I'm sure Juan more than anybody. I wish he was here to speak up on that very subject. This has been a long time coming, and when it's finished, hopefully, you know, the entrance looks like an entrance to a new facility. That was discussed in our last time you were before a committee back whenever that was. So.
Right, and Steve, previously too, I mean, we've always said that's really the gateway. The Golden Glades is the gateway to Miami, you know? We've said that for years. So I think that's what you're trying to impress on them, that, yeah, make it as grand as possible.
With some type of entrance lighting. And then the other thing too, I'm sorry, one more item was the signage. This is the first time we're seeing the finished results on the top of the sign. Is that going to follow suit at the other park and rides? Is this something that's only going to be at this location, or are you guys following?
Yeah, we're following suit. We're following suit with the same branding manual that they're using for the other sites. And we've been in contact with the folks there at the county to make sure that we get the signs as current and up to date with the design as what you're using now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Anyone else have any questions?
Yes, I do. I have one.
Okay.
This is Jackie. There's one of the slides on phase 2 that actually that I have a question about, and I can't remember which slide number that was because I didn't see it. I mean, I didn't see the number, that is.
Okay, we can go back. Ivan,
yes.
Can we flip back?
Ivan, if you can, please, I'd appreciate it. It's the connection between the State Road 9 entrance to the facility.
Oh, the aerial photograph?
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
And I have I have a concern because when I look at it from the top, what I see is crosswalk. And
this one, Jackie?
That one. Yeah, stop right there. That one.
Correct. I believe so. So what I see is crosswalk. So my concern is if somebody is coming from the expressway at a higher speed and a pedestrian is actually crossing that entrance, what's the liability? I mean, how safe is that intersection? And the reason I'm asking that is because when I used to go to as a student, I actually took the tri-rail to follow up on what Steve says. This has been there for a while. So, and there is a big disconnect in a sense that as if I'm coming from the tri-rail to get to the Golden Glades, to get the bus so I could take it to because for whatever reason, if it's raining, I will get wet by the time I get there. And there's no connection really between the tri-rail and the bus lot. I understand now that you are doing the building. However, I don't see, the two things that I'm not seeing is the connection, or the pedestrian connection for that matter, between the tri-rail facility and the beautiful sub that you're doing. And how safe is the crosswalk that you design with the entrance from the high speed interstate into the facility?
Okay, thank you. That's a great question. What you're seeing on the photo there is a temporary maintenance of traffic configuration. The actual location of the entrance to the park and ride facility is going to be off of the connector road, just south towards the bottom of the photo. You can't really see it, but we're installing a signalized intersection there, okay, to control all the movements at that signalized intersection, a new intersection. Now, what you don't see in this photo is just south of this photo, there's 2 lanes and that right turn lane is a drop lane for slower traffic to keep right. And there are signs in this temporary configuration that alerts travelers to the pedestrians that are crossing in this area, okay? As far as the connection between Tri-Rail and the bus hub, Ivan, can you go back towards the very beginning? Let's see if we can find a slide. Ivan? Yeah, look back further. It's actually at the end of the video, but go back further. Another one. Another one. One more. Okay, there. Okay, on this slide, on the right-hand side here, you can see this canopy on the edge. This is a poor picture, but I think this is the closest we're going to get. Maybe this one, or maybe slide 33 next. But the canopies that I spoke of before, 78,000 square feet, that one there, that's perfect. Those canopies connect all the way to Tri-Rail. If you see this one, the large one that's right in the foreground, and then in the background, you can see a smaller canopy that goes along that walkway. So the intent was to have coverage for exactly that. So nobody's exposed to rain if they're getting in and out, connecting from one mode of transit to the other. So it is considered, and I can provide you additional plans so we can go out with the minutes of how the canopy cover is going to be on the job. Does that answer your question?
Thank you. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ivan. Any other questions?
Well, I would ask the part where we're connecting to Tri-Rail and the part where the new system from the other side of that area on the other side is supposed to connect, who then takes care of updating the train station? And so,
I have to get back to you on that, Mr. Pina. I have to get back to you on that. I have my team listening to all the questions, so I'm getting answers prepared. So I'll get you an answer for that.
okay, thank you.
I mean, I think it would be the regional, whatever they're called now.
SFRTA?
I mean, they're the owners of the that area. So it would be a coordination effort between the county, FDOT, or whatever, and Tri-Rail, right?
I can get the information on that. I think it has to do more with funding and who has the money to do it. So
Right.
I can find out more information.
Okay.
It just seems that if we're going to, spend all this money and this is going to be our new golden spot to show in the Golden Glades, that we should consider that. That's probably not a lot of money to begin with. The only thing is you might consider covering the crosswalk going over State Road 9 so that you do get full protection all the way to the train. Obviously,
Right.
that would cost some money, but I could see that would be something that we would look at if we ever looked at that section. Thank you.
I have a question.
Thank you.
Now that Steve actually mentioned covering the crosswalk that goes over State Road 9. Visually, when you look, if you are actually traveling on State Road 9, how does that bridge look like? Do we have a rendering or a picture of it?
No, we don't have it in part of this presentation. It's easily viewable on Google Maps. If you go over to Google Maps and pull it up on your screen, you can see the pedestrian bridge. It's the same pedestrian bridge that's been there. It's going to look the same when we're done. That's the existing one over State Road 9.
So,
The
so
one
we're not doing
building
any
as part of this
improvement.
project, right, not on that one. The one we're doing is the one inside the facility, inside the west lot.
And I think that goes
So we're
back
not
to,
we're not touching that one at all to actually,
Not part of this project.
Seems like a big overlook.
yeah, and I think that goes back to what Mr. Pena mentioned
Yeah.
earlier. You're going to have that brand new state-of-the-art facility, and it takes you right into an old building with an old overpass that you can see. I mean, I can't imagine the visual, looking at it from a distance with that new facility connecting to the old one.
yeah.
I think something needs to be done there.
And again, we're treating Tri-Rail like a, a distant relative instead of,
A stepchild.
I'm just saying, we've done this for years. So I was hoping we would address that in this project, and we're building stuff right up to it, but it should get fresh. It should look fresh like everything else. And if it's not being done with this project, then we certainly got to say that it's being done with the other side project that's supposed to complete it. That would be my 2 cents on this. And I know funding is everything, and when it comes to state and this stuff, it's all different, but we would like to see it all come together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Any other comments? Okay, so Oscar? Oscar, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, sorry. So do we need a motion, entertain a motion to accept this?
It's really a discretion of the TARC members. It's nothing much different than what we've seen before. It's more of as an update. You guys did have very good comments back in 2018. It seemed that they were addressed. I remember Mr. Steve Pena focused a lot on the signage and the lighting, and I see it seems like they have plenty of LED lighting. I think if the board wants to say, yes, we love it, or something to that effect, we could draw up the resolution to that. However, it's not really required. This is the 5th time we see this, I believe.
Okay. Okay, so we're not, it's an action item. That's why I'm kind of questioning, and it's not an update. So to memorialize it, I think we need to, I mean, what is the will of the committee? To accept the presentation, but with a caveat to revisit the connection of the Tri-Rail bridge to the new bridge, or is there anything else that you just want them to focus on, Steve, Jackie, and Ab? Any of you?
Is there going to be another update, Sergio?
It wasn't scheduled, but we can provide updates at your discretion.
I don't know that it's necessary to make a big presentation, but I'm thinking more along the lines of the question about the lack of signage and also the connectivity. If there's going to be responses, maybe once we see the responses to some of the questions, we may determine that it'd be worthwhile to come back, but I don't necessarily, personally, I don't see the need for it right now.
Okay. All right. So from my end, so I come back full circle. The items that I would address is the improvements in the gap where Tri-Rail exists and where our improvements end. I'm going to provide information on that gap. The other thing is signage for the entrance. I can try to provide some more information on what it's going to look like, perhaps a rendering of what it's going to look like from the street view, so you're satisfied with that. And provide a plan sheet showing you the lighting and the signage throughout the facility. Would that satisfy does that cover everything? And Jackie, for you, I can provide an overall site plan showing the canopy cover.
Yes, please. Thank
Also,
you.
also the pedestrian safety
pedestrian.
features, that crosswalk, that intersection.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, will do.
Anything else from the committee?
Thank you, Sergio.
All right, with that, again, thank you, Sergio, for the great presentation. So with that, we're going to move on to.
Before we move on, can I just say, Sergio, it's really beautiful site. It's amazing how big a building and structure you put on that property, from what I've
Thank
seen.
you.
And it went up really quick. So we're excited
We're very
to
proud.
finally have this come true.
I know, finally, that's the key word, finally.
Yeah, we're very proud, and all my team members, you can't see them, but they're texting me, and they're very proud of this project too. So we're going to keep on providing the information that you asked for, and hopefully in the spring we'll be able to cut a ribbon.
Right, exactly.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. With that, Ivan, could you go back to the agenda, I guess? We're going to move on to item 3A, information items. Oscar, do you want to say anything about this?
No, Ivan, if you go, there he is. There's our latest and greatest attendance. So we haven't had a meeting in a while, so this will be updated for the next meeting. There's a second page to this, so has everyone included. You can see there's quite a few vacancies still, which we're working on. Right now we have 13 members. It looks like we had 8 today. That was a really good turnout. I appreciate everybody being here.
Okay.
Ivan, you go to the next page, which is the second page of it.
So I combined both pages into this one slide.
Oh, okay.
For other members.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Okay, so with anything else on that, or is that it?
No, that's it. That's an FYI.
If we keep on harping on the fact, if you know anyone that may be interested and they live in a certain district, please have them volunteer for this board. Okay, moving on to 4A. Does any member have any reports?
I would mention that the park and ride that they built out at I-75 has really come together. And if you drive down and see the landscape that they put in for the Miami Lake section of I-75, I only wish they could do that everywhere. But if you ride the I-75 corridor just before it hits 826, before it actually makes the bend, that's the Miami Lake section, and you definitely see an awesome landscaping section. So
great.
Everybody check that out.
Great, yeah, will do.
And I also saw a lot of landscaping go out on Chrome Avenue the last time I was out there, and they reported to us, I think the last time we were here. I would say that that's gone in just beautifully. Nice clusters. You know, we've come a long way from the one tree every mile. You know?
Right.
I mean, we really have. So
that's awesome.
Anything else? All right, then I'll turn it over. Oscar, do you have any staff reports? Want to say anything?
Well, hopefully now we'll get back in gear, and we do have, well, I'll mention that at the next meeting, but there's not much to report aside from what just happened earlier today. And congratulations again to you, Alex and Debbie, for volunteering for that very important task.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so under new business, obviously, I don't think we're going to have a July meeting since it's Independence Day's next week. So
yeah,
actually, no, wait, hold on. So Wednesday would have been our July meeting, right? The 1st.
Right, and early in the, when we determined the schedule, we had this day as a recess anyway for us.
Okay.
Right.
The July one, close to the Independence Day.
Okay.
So on August 5th, we'll be back. And hopefully I'm trying to get I should get the under deck back, but this time there was more focus last time on the signature bridge itself, and there wasn't much as far as the under deck. Remember when that presentation was made? And actually, because of COVID-19, they've been able to accelerate that project quite a bit because of the maintenance of traffic. They were able to perform with less congestion. So I'm hoping to get the under deck visited in August, and the State Road 934, which is Northwest 135th Street, some aesthetics for that. So hopefully I will get geared up and have several meetings in a row. You know, it's difficult to schedule meetings that are TARC ready, that small window of opportunity for design and aesthetics.
Right. So yeah, just you know, I've spoken with Oscar on some of my ideas, you know, for items to, you know, to be heard by our board, you know, things that we haven't seen in a while that, you know, we should get an update on. So if you all have any ideas about items that you wanted to see before the board, just, you know, please contact Oscar, and we'll try to contact the appropriate agency to get it on, you know, to get a scheduled meeting. Okay, any other new business? That's it?
Actually, I have a question.
Yep.
Not a new business, just to confirm that Oscar did mention that the next stock meeting is August 5th.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right. With that, I'd like to see, I guess, Ivan, could you let me know if there's anyone from the public that's interested in speaking on any matter?
Yes, at the moment, I do not see anyone with the raised hand. If anyone has a public comment, please use the raise hand feature. And
I can hardly hear you, Ivan.
I'm sorry, I do not see anyone with the raised hand. So I believe there is no public comment at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the list of participants, and it's basically all, you know, it seems like staff or the board, so. Okay, so there's no one, right? So we'll close the public comment portion. And I guess next I'd like a motion for adjournment.
I move it.
A second.
Okay, Debbie and Jackie. Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. I think it went very well, our first virtual meeting.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
So we should keep it up this way.
I'm sorry, I just got in.
I want to see you guys in person. I'm you know, I'm doing too many of these meetings. I want to see people.
Me too. I enjoyed the trip downtown, you know.
See?
Yeah.
So
I don't know if you all hear me or not, but I was just now able to get in. This is Alexander.
Hey,
I think that the meeting is nearly over, so I'm sorry. It took me a while to get in.
okay, so you missed the, okay, so I am now the new chair, just to fill you in. I'm the new chair, and then Debbie's going to be stepping up into the vice chair role.
Okay. And,
so.
my nickname is Alex, so hi, Alex.
So, all right, with that, we have adjourned the meeting. Take care, guys.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
take care. Bye.
Bye.
Who all attended? Do you have the names?
I can let you know, Yvonne.
Yeah, Oscar.
I'll let you know. Okay. How you doing, Yvonne? How's your foot?
Oh, hanging in there and dealing with everything else, you know, but we're still alive, so we better not complain too much.
That's true.
All right.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna, after the meeting, I'm just gonna talk to Yvonne real quick, just to fill her in on the questions she has. So Yvonne, we had Alex, Sunless Martin, Steve, Jackie, Anob, Debbie, Gavin, Richard Strime, and yourself. So we had 8, and then you came in as number
Oscar.